That's a lot of my week.
Morning, everyone. Welcome to this morning's edition of the ABC Markets Morning Call. Stocks were lower again overnight, but it's probably the 3 or 4 days in a row. I think we've had 3 or 4 days in a row for a long time. As the bond rally was short-lived, we had 10-year yields and 30-year yields up 5 and 6 basis points. So basically, they've given back all of the yields that they lowered since the Bessent announcement, which they're now calling the Bessent Put. For those of you who are not, particularly financial markets and bond market savvy, they were intervening and buying back bonds in the 30 years, which to try and lower long-term interest rates because their debt's obviously gone over 40 trillion the last few days, which we all knew was coming, but for whatever reason, doesn't make a headline until it gets there. And but like it's a long-term problem overall because I believe it only took 95 days for them to get to add $1 trillion to the US debt, and it keeps increasing because Trump has not delivered on any of the things he said he was going to deliver on, which is obviously not good for the market. So ASX is doing pretty well because we've had fairly decent earnings. The Nikkei sort of got some back yesterday, but Euro stocks, Dow, S&P, Nasdaq, and Russell down on the night, down on the week, all of them, and the Nasdaq sort of hit the hardest. Although the chip stocks came back a little bit overnight, and I think we had Micron. I think that's the that is the incorrect market map, but I think Micron was up. John Deere had a really positive earnings, which tracked the company that's kind of now a data science company, really in a way. Moderna go back 24% of that 177% surge yesterday. Bitcoin was up 5.4, which dragged up all the Coinbase and MicroStrategy and Walmart was actually down nearly 10%. Comparable sales was up 2.6 versus 3.8 expected. That's the weakest in 6 years and the biggest drop since May 2022. So, and adding to all this was oil prices continue to go higher. So WTI is somewhere around the 88 mark and Brent at 94. So fifth straight day of gains, up 7% for the week. Trump declared some other threat. Basically, everyone's kind of ignoring it now. He threatened
tariff. Was it tariff?
Multiple threats.
Okay.
He threatened Iran. He threatened Mexico. He threatened Canada this week. And no one believes him on Iran anymore. But he also threatened sanctions against any country that gives Iran a lifeline. But he threatened Canada with 50%. He's already backpedaled on that as well. 2-day backpedal, and no one even criticised him because everyone ignored him. But ASX earnings yesterday, mate. Run us through what you saw.
Well, basically, I was a bit surprised about Goodman. I thought the result wasn't too bad, and it's a good company. As we mentioned yesterday, it's got 50 projects, data center products in 12 countries.
It's massive. I should have put the slide up, but but Goodman's really of all of those data center as a service or GPU as a service or data center companies, they're global. It's bigger than CoreWeave. It's bigger than Nebius. It's I think if you added together NextDC, Megaport, and like Iron or something like that, it's bigger than all of them combined. So it still gets treated like a REIT for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. Because I kind of think that's an advantage because it's already got an existing customer base that can go, well, you're renting from us. Here, take the service. So, but for whatever reason,
you never know.
I don't really know why. Everyone doesn't want to take the safe option, but I think it's incredibly cheap at these levels. Personally,
me too. So I was surprised about it. I mean, it has had a good run. It's been a darling for a while there for me.
But it has been at 40.
Yeah, it has been. It is going so. So I was surprised about that. The other ones, Fortescue, really nothing. Northern Star, the gold prices, Brambles, Medibank. Interesting one was code and one for the treasure hunters out there.
Yeah, it was one for the treasure hunters.
Literally, people know what they do.
I suspected that. I mean, a lot of the gold merged yesterday. I think Northern Star particularly, like all the gold stocks were up yesterday. I mean, Newmont didn't report and it was up 6. So
that's not going away.
Well, it's not going away. And as I said before, that Bitcoin rallying back, silver starting to rally back, all the precious metals and things. And I sort of went out on a limb yesterday and said, like I think this targeting the 30-year, basically targeting a section of the yield curve, debt going past 40 trillion, and Trump just being an absolute, well, way more of a nightmare than anyone ever thought he could possibly be, and that's a big leap.
Yeah.
Everyone's just starting to go back to those stores of value, which which they are. Like I genuinely can kind of see, particularly with that move back to crypto. Everyone's just trying to get out of fiat currency generally. It's not just US dollar. Like Australia went over $1 trillion, but if you go down the list, Australia's not that bad compared to the rest of the world. The world government's in basket cases. So and trying to appease voters is what got Greece, or the pigs, Portugal, Italy, Greece, and Spain in trouble. And we're starting to see the same sort of politics. I think Italy had a change in government nearly every 18 months, basically. So they ended up, and Greece had a retirement plan system for their public transport employees, where it was costing them so much that they were better off shutting down public transport and giving everyone cab receipts instead. But that's what happens when you keep cutting taxes and not being responsible. So.
And Tillich was up as well. Tillich swung from a loss to a profit. So
that was a maiden profit, and everyone was pretty critical about how their that capex spend, but we've done a bit of a deep dive on it overall. But Telix is patent. There's some drugs coming like from the likes of Clarity and things like that are stronger, or treatments that are stronger, and Telix knows it. Like they're not putting their head in the sand, but they've got a 3-year head start, and they're going to make $1 billion to $2 billion a year. And spending their money diversifying the business. So I think they're very different. It's not just a treatment anymore. You've got 30 or 40 manufacturing facilities globally, etc. September, I don't know why they picked this date, but September 11, fairly ominous date. They're going to get their update on their FDA approval. Basically. At that point, it probably either goes to 25 or probably back to 10.
Let's hope 25.
I think they will. It's the second time around. I think it wasn't an efficacy issue. It was more of a process issue. So reporting today, Digico, which is that I can't remember the name of the fund, but they do love launching a fund at the top of the cycle. But I can't imagine if Goodman can't catch a bid that those guys are going to be good. But anyone else there?
Oh, look, Goodman's be interesting. I think it was a great decision there to pull out of the US pretty quickly. Stupid decision to go there in the first place to bring Mexican food to basically US, which is will probably more Mexicans to Mexico, which I don't think it does, but it's just it was very Domino should have done that a long time ago. So I think it was good what they did. They cut it quickly.
Yeah, and there's a great line from Steve Jobs when he's running Pixar. He's like, if you're going to screw up fast.
Yeah, exactly. And just cut your losses and go. So I think it's interesting.
Shareholders did reward.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, really. Yeah, I think it really. So
good move.
Yeah. Lifestyle communities, retirement homes.
Tough business.
Yeah.
As we sort of said, every time you try to increase your margins, you'll end up on the back of the Telegraph or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Taking advantage of old people.
Yeah, exactly. So we just leave TPG, internet company. Yeah, exactly. Superloop, yes, I think open well, but I don't. Yeah, I don't.
Fridays are not generally great nights great days for earnings. Next week's calendar, we've got a few regional banks early in the week. Pilbara on Monday, Coles and Woolies, and Woodside and Wesfarmers. What else am I? I'm getting. I was South 32 towards the end of the week. Intuit and Salesforce, and the big one is Nvidia, which is on Wednesday. So we'll get that Thursday morning, and I dare say, with the market looking a little bit shaky, the tech bros will have their fingers and toes crossed that Jensen does his thing and sells the absolute crap out of not only Nvidia but the sector. He is very, very good at that, and I guess if I had anyone who was going to be my hype man to save the market, you'd probably pick Jensen and probably not Elon, because everyone seems to hate everything he does. But Aussie CPI next week will be super important. GDP, I believe it's final GDP in the US. That has moved lately because They do it in 3 revisions. They do advanced, preliminary, and final. It's the same quarter, but they refine the figures. And usually it's only the first 2 that are volatile. But lately the last one has been. But now Trump's got his own bloke in at the BLS.
Yeah.
So I mean, who knows these days? They'll just make up.
Is it BSL? Yeah, bullshit. Sorry, no.
Hello,
sorry about that.
Gold, copper. Copper drifted a little bit, but look, I mean, copper's had a pretty damn good run. But gold, silver, platinum, all up, 3 to 5% this week. It's been dwarfed a little bit by Bitcoin's 16. Was it? There must be 15.3% rally in the last 5 days, up 5% last night. Crypto's back, baby, and so. For those of you, we do have, a wise man of crypto here at NBC Markets. He's only 27, but
that's me.
That's ancient in crypto years.
I'm only 22.
Been in crypto for over a decade, which is basically like in crypto years. That's like being Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
But he's like 90 years old. We'll have to get him a wise man
beard
or something like that, and he can come and
dye his hair grey or
dye his hair grey. That's right.
I'm sure you love that.
But look, webinar next Tuesday, the AI Age, nbcinvest.co/webinars, or you can go to nbcmarkets.com.au/webinars. Kai and myself going through the next winners. We think, let's face it, he thinks in AI, and we do have an investment on this as well. I wrote a live wire article. You can go and sort of check out and get a bit of an idea of it. But that should be really interesting, I think. Overall, because if you go back and have a look at the internet age, all these picks and shovels thing, we're doing the same thing as what we did in 01. I don't think there'll be a bubble because all of these companies are way more cashed up, way more financially stable. But the next phase winners like the Googles and the Metas, etc. They're not picks and shovels. So you want to be on those ones where but for the next phase, for the next 10 years, that compound. So for those of you who want to watch our podcast, all 4 of us old blokes, Kai's not old, but Bulls versus Bears, that'll be out about 5 o'clock this afternoon. And you can get it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. Just go to nbcmarkets.com.au/podcasts and have a look there. We'll wrap up the week and have a bit of a focus topic, probably around those next winners. Haven't quite decided yet. It's a little bit. The bond market's been the main focus this week, but there's a cure for insomnia. Is talking about bond markets. We might just cover that very briefly and move on. But if you don't catch your podcast, A, you've made a mistake, but B, have a great weekend.
Exactly, likewise.
Have a great day, everyone. And we'll speak to you next week.
See you later. Bye.
Cheers, mate.